Let's call this meeting to order. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Open public forum. Anybody wishes to speak about anything tonight? Otherwise, we are going to move on. Approval of the agenda. I need approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Doug makes a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second it.
A second. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Minutes, February 14th, 2017. Recommendation to approve the minutes of the February 14th, 2017 City Council meeting as presented. Approval of alcohol license for Firefest. Recommendation to approve a temporary on-sale liquor license for the Cold Spring Fire and Rescue Relief Association for July 29, 2017 for the Firefest event to be held at Cold Spring Brewing Company's Distribution Center. I need a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Jamie makes a motion
Second that.
and Shannon seconds. Any discussion on that? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? That motion carries. Number 5.
This is the resolution that I drafted after last meeting when I told you about the state funding for city streets. And you said, go ahead and draft the resolution. This is the resolution that I borrowed from other cities and adjusted for our needs. And so it's a resolution in support of state funding for city streets, maintenance and reconstruction funding.
Okay, I'll read the recommendation. Recommendation to approve resolution number 2017-13, a resolution supporting an omnibus bill to provide dedicated state funding for city streets.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion to approve. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Doug seconds it. Is there any discussion on this? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? That motion carries. Quit claim deed for Northview Outlot A to the Cold Spring EDA.
You have in your packet a picture of the plat that was drawn for the purchase of the business park land by the brewery. And in that map, there's this pink strip. That was bought by the city several years ago when the North Water Tower was being installed. That particular piece is called Northview Outlot B. Okay. Yes, A, Northview Outlot Bay, A. When the city platted the business park, that strip got included in the plat to the EDA, who is the owner of the business park. They're the entity that's the municipal owner. So to sell that parcel to the brewery, the EDA has to have ownership of that strip. And so we need to quit claim it from the city to the EDA, so the EDA can then sell it to the brewery, and then the brewery can dedicate it back to us as future second. It's all the little legal steps to do exactly what is already there, basically.
Okay, I'll read the recommendation and then we'll go from there. Recommendation to approve the quitclaim deed of Northview Outlot A to the Cold Spring Economic Development Authority. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion.
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Is there any discussion on this? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Development agreement with Cold Spring Brewery. Scott and Brett.
Mayor and council, thank you for having us. We did bring some preliminary prints. So we're trying to get through preliminary design and go straight to construction design. So we're trying to move aggressively, of course. So I'll leave these and share them with Bridget and Mayor and council, of course. So I don't want a good way to show you folks are all the same thing.
Awesome, everybody. You guys want to shoot?
While they're doing that, the development agreement is required because of the necessity. These are here.
Make sure it's still recording.
Flagging. Are the numbers moving, Gary?
Part of the development agreement, I wanted you guys to be able to see the kind of conceptual design. Based on our last meeting, we, with the discussions with council and neighbors and other residents of town, we did run with that advice. We took that very serious, concerns about light and traffic and stuff like that. So we are moving forward with the tunnel design, which is connecting our two buildings continuously, end to end on the north side. We're still working out the logistics for what the width of this structure in between the buildings will be. The plan that you guys have, it's only 50 feet. We're not exactly sure what that's going to end up yet. So the building that shows some racking inside of it is our current receiving DC. The building on the left side or the west side is our existing shipping DC, and then the big block without columns pictured in it is the expansion of warehousing facilities. So just wanted you guys to have that for this evening.
Is this an underground tunnel or just?
No, it's
Just connected to
at grade.
Okay, gotcha.
Above ground at grade, so that'll move that warehouse, or excuse me, the packaging, the production in between the buildings, so it'll move the potential noise source and stuff away from
Gotcha, okay.
the neighbors. So.
All right, I'll read the recommendation then. Recommendation to approve the development agreement between the city of Cold Spring and the Cold Spring Brewing Company. I need a motion.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Gary makes a motion, Doug seconds it. Is there any discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
And then inside it's like.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Public Works Director, John Stevie, and City Engineer, Brian Mitchell. How's that, Brian? Perfect.
Good evening.
Hey, John.
We had a late addition to my report. It was out the last couple of days. Thursday, Friday was a sickness, so. We have 3 RAS pumps, return activated sludge pumps at wastewater, along with a mixed liquor pump that we budgeted for new seal kits. It just prolongs the life of the pump, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than purchasing new pumps. So permission to, they already did one RAS pump and then they just held off the bill. But we have two more that we're gonna do over the next couple months, and then the mixed liquor pump as well. So we have 3 more pumps to do. So just looking for approval to do that.
I'll read your recommendation then. Recommendation to approve the purchase of RAS and mixed liquor return pumps and seal kits at a cost of $11,207.40 from the wastewater equipment and repair budget line item 6313. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jamie makes a motion. I need a second then.
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on that? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against. The motion carries.
And the only other thing I have is just Brian and I have been working with Excel, and we did that $5,000 engineer estimate deal, and we're waiting for the engineer's estimate, so hopefully within the next month, a few weeks to a month. I think it's gonna happen quicker than they estimated, but hopefully we'll get some good news on that. We can keep moving forward with the well field.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
City engineer report then. Brian Lynchen.
Mr. Mayor and Council, we took bids on the Main Street project last Wednesday. The apparent low bidder is Kramer Trucking and Excavating. In the packet, I had included a letter noting what the bids were, as well as the bid tabulation. Bidders number 1 and 2 were pretty close, and about $12,000. Bids came in lower than what the engineer's estimate shows. That engineer's estimate was rounded. I mean, when we looked really close at the numbers we came up with, they came in very, very, very close. So, pretty happy with the bids. I guess so tonight we need to, unless there's any questions regarding the bids that I can answer, otherwise we would need to approve those bids, award the project, so we can get started on all the paperwork with the contracts for the contractor, get things moving so we can start early April. The only big thing we would need to talk about is we bid the Welcome to Cold Spring signs as an alternate. What that allows us to do is basically, do we really want to include it or not? So I think tonight would be a good time. I think we really need to kind of decide, are we going to do the Welcome to Cold Spring signs, are we not? They would be on the north side of Main Street, just as you come over the bridge. They'd be almost identical to the ones over by the SA. We got the signs on those now, the actual aluminum Welcome to Cold Spring sign. So I guess that would be kind of our decision tonight is, what do you guys think on, do we want to add that or not? They came in, yeah, 93,000. We estimated them at right about 100. The range of all the bidders was, I think, 90 to 110. So came in right where we expected.
Go ahead, Doug.
Brian, so you're saying it would be identical to the 2 that are on west side here?
Yes.
And they'd be just like that 2 on the north side, you're
On the
saying?
north side, and so the Welcome to Cold Spring would be facing east. So as you're driving west into town, you would see the sign.
Right over
See the letter.
over the bridge.
Right, yeah, just as you get past the bridge.
So you're saying that is $92,000?
Yes.
Wow.
There's some big footings on those. We go about 5 feet down on footings, big spread footings, and to fabricate the granite and to fabricate the signs. We had put them there initially as we had talked about the gateways into town, one of them being by the highway, the other one being by the bridge. It is always something in the future, if we decided we wanted to put them in, it's something that we could bid standalone. You're probably gonna get at that price or probably more if it's standalone, just because of the nature of what you're bidding. But it is something that could happen in the future as well too.
Or it could also be an option then to maybe do something a little different if the council would decide to do that. at that point.
Absolutely, if we wanted to do something different, we could do that too. So we wanted to include it at this point to see where it came in at, and leave ourselves the option.
Because we do have a Welcome to Coldwell coming into town on 23 right
Right.
now. I don't know.
My recommendation would be to leave it out.
Leave it out.
If we have to do it in the future, we're not talking substantial more money. We're talking a little more money, 5-10%.
I would agree, I think it's a lot of money for that.
I agree as well.
It's like we're gonna leave it out.
Okay.
We don't need to vote on it, do we?
No, and I think the.
We can do the recommendation that you got here and
Yeah, and I think the recommendation that we have, if I'm, Bridget, I believe, it does not have the. I don't believe it does not have that in it.
Make sure my the resolution has the base bid number.
Base bid, the 1.5.
Okay.
So I think as long as we note it here, maybe do we need to take a vote, maybe just, that way it's official?
Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe do that, that way we're covered.
Okay. I need a motion to, what would you do? Not have, exclude the signage on the east end of Main Street.
Okay, I'll make a motion to, accept the base bid excluding the alternative bid.
All right, Doug makes a motion,
I'll second it.
Gary seconds it. Any other discussion? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Motion carries. Is that the resolution or not?
No, I think that.
Okay, we'll do the resolution now. Okay, recommendation to adopt resolution number 2017-14, a resolution accepting bids and awarding a contract for the Main Street reconstruction project. I need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Gary makes a motion, second.
I'll second.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on that? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. There we go.
Any other questions about Main Street? Like I said, we'll start getting moving on contracts and things going.
Get that thing going.
Yeah, it'll be here before we know it.
Yes.
Weather was nice, now all of a sudden it started snowing.
April 4th, we expect to start doing it.
Yeah, April 3rd, I think, is the first date that they could work in there. And we have that they need to have the first two
April
blocks.
1st?
Third. I
Third?
think it's a Monday.
Okay,
The first two blocks have to be done by middle of July.
okay. And that shouldn't be that hard.
Everyone we talked to didn't seem to have a problem, and I think that was reflected as well in the bids.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, unless anybody else has any questions for him. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
Thanks.
Police Department report. Acting Chief Boom.
Mr. Mayor, Council,
Jason.
good evening. Just to go over some of the numbers for January. In January 17, Cold Spring had 311 total incidents, 21 of those being medicals, 8 suspicious people or vehicle or activities, 1 intoxicated person, 163 traffic stops, which included 164 warnings and 48 citations. And in those traffic stops, there were 5 narcotics violations. 1 of those included a dangerous weapon. And then also we had a short pursuit on 23 that ended with the individual getting out of his car and being taken into custody shortly after without any incident. So he was arrested on, I think, 4 or 5 warrants. So he was actually transported out of state shortly after. So good individual to get our hands on. And then 118 miscellaneous calls for police-related incidents. Then in January for 2017 in Richmond, there were 73 total incidents, which included 12 medicals, 3 suspicious activities, 33 traffic stops with 31 warnings and 6 citations, and then 25 miscellaneous calls for police-related incidents. Talked about the Highway 23 crash reduction earlier. I forget if it was beginning of January, December, somewhere in there. You might have seen the yellow signs that look similar to that have gone up kind of on each end of town. There have been 3 saturation date, well, actually 4 now, but I have stats for 3 of them. And just to kind of take a look at it, I don't know what the issue was in February, but there were actually quite a few accidents on Highway 23. 3 of them that included injuries. Might have seen a lot of squads out there the last probably 2 weeks. And then 4 without injuries. The ones with injuries, one was major factor was speed. The other one was distracted driving. Person just drove through a red light and hit somebody waiting to take a left. So a lot of the issues that we're geared towards trying to deal with. If, like I said, there's been 3 saturation dates. On the days, they were picked randomly by State Patrol or St. Cloud. I don't know exactly who picked the days. On those days, if you do get stopped, if nothing else, you probably get one of these. It's a little card with information on distracted driving, failure to yield, following too close, illegal or unsafe speed, and just some information on why those things are unsafe. So just trying to educate the public on how to drive safer. And a big thing is when you're getting out on 23 or anywhere in town, just make sure everybody's driving safe and paying attention. Any questions on the 23 initiative? Oh, actually, I think I added the summary of activity. Like I said, there's been 3 saturation dates on 23. Looks like this if you see it. Just has some of the numbers. It was originally from Richmond to Mississippi River in St. Cloud on Highway 23. There was a fatal accident in January-ish in Foley. So everything's been extended from Richmond all the way to Malacca now, I believe. So things, they've included a lot more agencies to try and educate the public. But these are for the stats for Stearns County. In Stearns County, there's been 250.5 total hours worked with 385 vehicles stopped, and that's between the 5 agencies, which are State Patrol, Stearns County, St. Cloud, us, and Waite Park. So the agencies that work, that have jurisdiction on 23 in that area. And then it's just a breakdown you can kind of see of what officers are finding now. And the only other thing I have is just a reminder that Community Showcase is March 18th. I know we're gonna have a booth, and also the 23 initiative is gonna have a booth. They're gonna have pedal cars up there, I believe, with the goggles that kind of mimic impairment. So just hopefully a lot of interesting stuff for people to take a look at. So just a reminder that March 18th will be up there. And also just heard yesterday that the squad we ordered in December is arriving hopefully by Thursday. So all the equipment is in town. That is the way it sounds anyways. And hopefully as soon as we get the squad here, Ron should be able to put it together relatively quickly, depending on how quick he can put a car together. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Any questions for him?
Thank you.
Otherwise,
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
thanks, Jason. Number 11, City Administrator Report.
What I have so far is today was the end of the application period for the police chief, and we received 8 total applications. I did get a call from a chief asking late this afternoon how many we got, because he had heard from other cities that applications are way down across the board, not just chiefs, but patrol as well. So he wasn't too shocked that we only got 8. But I will be putting those together for the committee that will score them. That date is April 9th that we're doing that, and then look at the calendar, I think it's the 29th or the 30th that we are doing interviews. I'll verify that and have it for the next meeting. Other than that, that's it.
Number 12, Standing Committee or Commission Updates. planning, we had our planning committee meeting with the last meeting, and there was nothing really new otherwise. So, EDA, who's gonna do that?
Go ahead. I can. We had our last meeting, the 21st. We did elect all of our representatives, and I was trying to find, here we go.
Jamie,
Yes.
I printed it.
Oh,
Dan was kind enough to send that off to us.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Dan.
thank you, Dan. So we now have all of our elected officers, president, vice president, treasurer, assistant secretary. Those have all been put in place. We did go over a couple of the revolving loan funds. Dan's gonna be working out some more of the details on that to get some of that finalized. We talked about, actually, one of the highlights of the meeting I forgot was Larry Hosch, who was a former legislator, is now the business development director who took over for Bill Kemp with the St. Cloud Development Corporation, Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation. He came in, talked to us for about 15-20 minutes, give us a really good explanation of what he does, what his goal is, and he certainly is a very passionate person about what he does. So we were glad to see him on board with what we want to do in our town here and how we want to grow our city. So thanks to him for that. The other thing was just some business updates. We're going to be looking at reviewing further downtown parking options. We're looking at what viable business options we have in town here and how to get them here, and how to grow or help our current businesses grow. And then that was pretty much about it. Bridget and Dan have some meetings set up with some local companies going through some changes and stuff like that to try and get a bit further understanding. That's about it.
Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
Parks.
Parks, we haven't had a meeting on the parks, but the splash pad committee met here a couple weeks back. They talked a lot on kind of size of what it would be, and cost, and areas where it possibly would be located. And then they got there's three or four people now that are gonna get in contact with some of the property owners just to see if the properties are even viable to purchase, or and then we're gonna meet up again. So hopefully here probably in April, I think we'll have probably a park board meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Rocori Trail Board. Who's on there? You are, huh?
Bridget and I were on that. That was my first meeting, so I just sat and listened, mostly. It was a good meeting, interesting. There were a couple of property owners that stopped in, had some questions about right-of-way and some insurance issues, and we had discussion about that. That seemed to go well, and I think the attorney that's representing the trail board is going to follow up with them and clarify a few things. And sounds to me as though it's a go. Things are in the works. They're I don't know when they will start exactly, but plowing ahead with it.
I think they'll do in April as well. They're trying to do early April.
Yeah.
March 31st is when the ties had to be off.
Okay.
And then we have another meeting this Thursday, I believe. We'll report on that next month.
All right. Thank you very much. List of goals and additions. Recommendation to review and accept payment of the accounts payable according to the list and supplemental list presented by city staff. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Doug makes a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Shannon seconds it. Any discussion on it? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against?
I have to abstain.
Okay, Jamie abstains. But the motion does carry. Number 14, general questions and comments from the city council. Jamie, anything?
Yeah, Chamber Showcase at the Rocori High School, March 18th from 9 to 1. We have about 100 plus businesses, nonprofits. We have food, door prizes, lots of fun, lots of hands-on things. We do have a Caterpillar demonstration demo machine coming. It's not a real live one, but you get to sit in there and pretend like you're driving it. We got the Jones County Sheriff's bringing the bikes up there, so it should be a really cool showcase. Lots of fun for both kids and adults.
Good. Doug, you got anything?
Yeah, one thing, Firefest. It's our weekend, a hometown pride weekend. It's a Saturday night. The fire department usually puts on a country concert. This year, our headliner is Kip Moore, Big and Rich, Colt Ford, Cannon Smith, and Chris Hockey. Gates open at 4, and tickets at this point now are $50 a ticket. And they'll go up periodically throughout the year. And if you want your tickets, you can go to ThunderTix.com, and you can order your tickets and print them right online. So hopefully we'll see a lot of people out there. Thank you.
And when is it?
It is Saturday, July 29th. Thank you. And the gates open at 4 o'clock.
Thanks, Doug. Jan, you got anything?
I do not.
All right. Gary?
Do you know, Bridget, if someone volunteered to take the 8:30 shift with Dan Style at the
No one did.
showcase?
Not yet.
I know that most people probably don't want to do that.
Well,
Dan, I know that most people don't want to.
I
I
was
will though.
I know, I
will.
emailed Lois and said that I'd be there
I saw
all day
that.
anyway, so.
Well,
I was
but-
going to check my schedule also.
Okay.
I just haven't had a chance.
Yeah.
I said if nobody
I'll do
else,
it.
if nobody else wants to do it, I can.
When do we
it.
start, at 8:30, Dan? Yeah, and then I'll do that 10 as well.
Okay.
Somebody will be with you, Dan.
Got it taken care of.
I was worried.
You're gonna. And Shannon, we can always have one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have nothing. So the next one is number 15, is motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Jamie makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Gary seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? The next meeting is, on the 14th, is at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Just so we remember that.